Sorry, Eric thought it was canceled. Curtis, will you offer indications? Sorry, original spot.
Father, we're just so grateful to be here today and all healthy and well. Father, I pray for our country and our state, and particularly our community in Stamford. And, Father, just like plagues of the past, just let it pass over us. And, Father, I just pray that your love and protection over our community, and particularly our administrators and our teachers and our children. Just let them be flexible and let everybody be encouraging and understanding during this time, and come together as a community that we should be all the time, Father. I just lift everyone up to you today, Father. And thank you for loving us and being such an awesome God. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
No recognitions, but we are live on Zoom. So would you give us the thumbs up if y'all can hear us, principals, and anybody else? Would y'all let us know? Give us the thumbs up if you can hear us. Okay, just making sure we're rolling.
Any citizen participation?
No, nobody submitted anything for citizen participation.
Okay, so we will move on to reports. No, y'all have these ahead of time. Stacey, did you have anything on the finance reports?
There was nothing out of the ordinary.
Do you have any questions on any of those reports? Our shack report. Is there anything on that? I mean, I didn't see anything.
No, they've met twice. They are hoping to meet 2 more times. They've helped with bloodborne, stop the bleed. Y'all saw the report, but nothing there to report extra.
I believe the principals.
They're going to join us. I don't know if they did rock, paper, scissors. I'm not sure who's going first. Do what?
Who you want to go first?
Silky, go first.
Yep.
I had gave out deals for y'all. I don't know. Mr. Burr handled it out.
He's unmuted.
Can y'all hear me?
Unmuted on our end.
Is it the speaker up here? We had trouble.
Double check.
Can y'all hear me?
No way in the wrong direction.
Yeah. We had trouble that one day with the same thing on the speakers. We're just staring at you. Just, no big deal.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah. Put him on speakerphone. Okay. We can go low tech and go speakerphone. All right. We can hear you.
I'd handed out. I'd given Mr. Brewer some handouts for y'all. I don't know if he gave this or not. Basically, what I wanted to touch base with was I still wanted to, as normally as possible, still highlight some of the achievements that our students were able to receive before this craziness started. And so, going back to the last board meeting, a lot's happened since then. One, both our basketball teams had great finishes to the season. Our boys basketball team finished as undefeated district champions. Ended up losing in a heartbreaker in double overtime in the area round. Our girls basketball team made school history. Finished as district runner-ups to high school, but then, by district champions, area champions, regional quarterfinal champions, and then eventually falling to Groover in a great game. And then Groover went on to win state championships. So those were awesome achievements by our kids. Jesse Bate advanced to the regional powerlifting meet and finished 10th in the region. So we were proud of Jesse. Also, we'll go back to basketball. I provided y'all with the all-district teams, but a couple notes. Tylee Bevel named TABC All-Region. Tylee Bevel and Leilana Applin were named TGCA All-State. Austin Brewer, TABC All-Region and TABC All-State. And then Austin Brewer and Lane Patton were Texas High School Association Elite Academic All-State team. And Trace Price was named Honorable Mention Academic All-State. So we were very well represented in our postseason awards for basketball. Ag CDE before this started, we had multiple CDE teams participating in different competitions. They went to Jacksboro right before spring break. I know they're kind of heartbroken over this, maybe more so than just about anybody. Maybe outside of baseball and softball. Baseball and softball also had great runs before spring break. Outside of athletics, District 1-Act play, we hosted it here. Our 1-Act play team, our 1-Act play group competed, and they didn't advance. They were named the alternate play. Kennedy Gann was named All-Star Cast. Luke Tiny, Toby White named to the Honorable Mention All-Star Cast. And then Sean Tiny was named to the All-Technical crew. So we were supposed to be hosting this week the area 1-Act play, but that's been put on hold. Another thing I wanted to mention was right before spring break, before we found out STAR testing was going to be canceled, we had our EOC benchmarks. And even though we're not going to be giving those anymore, I was really proud of our English teachers and the job they've done with their students. And I wanted to kind of share with you the results from those benchmarks. Y'all can still hear me, right?
Yes. That's my battery.
English 1, they had 85% at approaches, 75% at meets, and 23% at masters, which was really good for that group. English 2 had 76% at approaches, 51% at meets, and 18% at masters. So just there, as a baseline, we were really excited about where we were for those STAR tests. Now to the craziness that happened over towards the end of spring break and last week. So during the extended spring break, the high school staff, we kind of came up with a plan to address the online content and instruction. Should we need to close school, which came pretty quickly afterwards. And so in 2 days, our staff put together a plan to roll out their content, roll out their instruction, go from in-person, in-class learning to online. And I'm super proud of our team. I mean, there was no complaining. There was no, they just wanted to do what was best for the kids. And I was super excited to be a part of this team. And so our plan moving forward with this online learning, and I've been really impressed so far with it, is we're utilizing Google Classroom as the platform to host our content. We're hosting content, videos. We have teachers that are videoing themselves teaching a lesson, and then allowing students to watch kind of a flip classroom type video. Assignments, tutorials, discussion boards. There's been some really neat stuff they're utilizing to get the content out to the students. We're also utilizing online meeting places such as Google Meets and Zoom to meet digitally with our students in order to address concerns answer questions, and just check in with the students and provide feedback to our students. And so I hopped on a couple of those today, and I didn't know how many kids would actually be interested in getting on that, but we had pretty good participation on some of those. The ones that I was on today had quite a few kids get on, and I thought it was utilized really well. You know, we've done a good job designing online lessons that are both flexible and still dig into the depth and complexity of our teach. So, you know, our teachers are continuing to teach the teach as if they were here, just in a more flexible design. And so for that, I'm really been really impressed with as well. On the other end of it, we're continuing to use social media to keep our students and staff connected, push out information in regards to the COVID-19 and how it's impacting our school. Our instructional aides are being utilized to as liaisons for our students. So they're reaching out to students and checking to make sure they're getting their work done, making sure they have access to technology, to food, checking on their mental needs and also their health. So they're connecting with them. And our counselor, Ms. Mueller, she's done a great job reaching out. She's pushing out a daily check in Google Forms to our students to make sure that they have somebody to talk to if they need to, and you know, she's going to be available daily to meet with and talk with students as well. We also decided to award gift cards, so we're going to award 4 gift cards each week to our online students of the week, just as an incentive-based program for our kids to work hard and not take this lightly, to take this seriously and continue to push forward, you know, in where we're at this year and in their learning journey. And so, you know, that's kind of where we're at. We're trying to do as much as we can, and we still, you know, we've talked to the kids last week. We're still planning on doing as much as possible. We just told them everything right now is kind of put on hold, just postponed. So until we can figure this thing out, and we'll adjust dates and times, and when we do get it figured out. So that's all I got. Y'all got any questions for me?
Okay. You there, Kyle? You hear us?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
It's his side's muted too. I don't know why. Can't hear you.
Let me see.
Okay. We'll call you now.
Mark.
I saw the email that said no, no, we thought it said no. Sorry, we're gonna leave
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's try this.
Awesome.
Try this again.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me? Yes, sir. Can you hear me now?
Hear you now. Okay.
All right.
I don't know why it's not working over the. Your microphone's not muted on your end, is it?
No, sir.
So.
Let me see.
Back.
I think it. Let me see if I can. I think it knocked me out. Okay. All right, you can see me?
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't speak into his phone, but I mean, well,
See, it's
Can you still hear me?
The feedback from.
Just tell me when you're ready.
And I did mute him.
Is your microphone on this end?
So can you hear Kyle talk right now? I can hear you, Kyle. I'm talking to Audra. If they can hear you, then we can mute this microphone. I just don't want to mute this and then talking and then. Okay, so.
Okay, now.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you on the phone, but I can't hear you on the thing. They said they can hear you, so.
Okay.
They can hear you. I don't know why we can't hear you.
All right. Well, here we go. Kind of like Chase, you're going to hear a lot of the same kind of things from me, same kind of platforms and things like that we'll talk about. But I was looking back when I started to make these notes today of what we were doing at the last board meeting, and boy, has the world changed since then. We were planning our daddy-daughter dance and muffins with moms and career day and all those kind of things, and kind of what I would give to be able to be worrying about those events at this point instead of what we've been dealing with. But can you hear me?
Let's move towards the microphone. No? No,
I guess you are muted.
Hello. Can everybody hear me? Am I good to go?
Well, they can't, but the people on Zoom can't hear him because he's muted.
Okay. I just want to, really give a shout out to our staff. If you ever had any doubt in your mind or anybody else's mind about the talent and the work ethic and the passion that our teachers have, it was destroyed in the last week. I've never seen a group of people with such creativity and open-mindedness, talent, and teamwork as I've seen in the last week. Our teachers basically threw out everything they've ever done and completely transformed their work and the way that they do business in just a day or two. Our paras jumped in and helped in so many different ways. They worked together, make sure the students got their materials, not only quickly, but safely. It was truly awe-inspiring to see those teachers out there freezing their tails off and, making sure those parents got in and out and very quickly and very safely and got everything that those kids needed to make sure that they continue to be successful. Today was equally awe-inspiring. We saw first day excitement. It's just like walking in school the first day on the faces of the teachers and the kids. We have lots of management issues to work out. If you can imagine having 20 kindergartners online at the same time, and giving them instructions on what to do when your little brother jumps on your head in the middle of a lesson. Things like that were pretty interesting, but it was very, very positive. I was able to jump in on almost every session, every classroom today, and we had about 10 or 15 kids in each session, so I thought that was a good start. They were socializing. They were very excited to see each other, very excited to see their teachers. They were asking lots of questions, lots of technical questions, lots of questions on the assignments that they were given. As the days progress, I can clearly see that we're going to have solid lessons with lots of interactions between the students as they settle into that routine and learn the management piece of it and that sort of thing. You look for positives to come out of all this, and I think this is truly going to help jumpstart our teachers and our students into true integration of technology. We've always used it as a strong support in the past, but now I can see us making a paradigm shift basically in our mode of dissemination and of lessons and creativity for the lessons and the way the students are responding to the teachers, not just using technology as a digitation of what we've done before, but as a true new way of learning. We're also addressing a lot of the socio-emotional issues with students. We have surveys that go out each day, and the students are responding to those, to their teachers, asking about how they're feeling, how they're sleeping, how they're dealing with their lessons, if there's anything they need. We also have our paraprofessionals are each assigned a set of students that they're getting in contact with, and also asking those same questions on a one-to-one basis, also talking to parents and that sort of thing. Our meals today I was overwhelmed with how many people came through the line today. I don't know what our final number was, but it was probably about 150, I would guess. But there was at one point I asked, and there was 136 meals that had been served, and there was still an hour or so left to go. So I know we did very well, and parents were very thankful, and I'm excited to see what happens with cheeseburgers tomorrow. So we'll probably even have more folks showing up. Again, if there's any doubt in anyone's mind that our staff is not working hard or taking an extended vacation, all they got to do is jump online to one of our Google Hangouts for a few seconds, and you'll quickly see that not only are their students learning, they're practicing and learning at very high levels. It's like Mr. Silky was talking about. We are learning at the rigor and complexity of our TEKS, even though it's online, probably at a higher level than we have before. Students are problem solving and figuring things out and helping each other even. Saw lots of kids helping through the chats on the Google Classroom today, helping each other. Not even the teachers weren't even having to solve all the problems. The kids were in there doing it. It's a great time to be a Bulldog. The kids, the parents, the staff, everybody has just gone above and beyond, not only get through this, but to grow closer and stronger as we go through it. And we're gonna end up better off at the long run. So very proud of everybody. So thank y'all for y'all's support as we go through this. That's all I got.
All right, Mr. Price.
Can you hear me? Hello? 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 I can't hear anything. Can y'all hear me now? Hello? So do I need to talk on the phone? Okay. I'm just turning up my volume. So y'all can hear me now? I guess all I need to say is ditto, because they pretty much said what I mean. Wow. I don't know if I can come back from both of those. That's amazing. But we, here at the middle school, we're doing exactly what they're all doing. I'm with Kyle. I'll say one thing about this staff. When I took this job, this staff, you know, I could tell the tension, I could see the groups, I could see everything that was going on. But I'm telling y'all, when this all hit and we started meeting, we became a family. And that's what I've been preaching from the first day, is family. So to see the groups come together as one and actually start working together and actually going into a classroom to teach each other Google Classroom to make sure we were all on the same page. We all knew what we were going to do. How are we going to service these children? And to see that, and to see even coaches that, you know, how coaches get the bad rap, but to see coaches even going in there and showing other coaches how to do it and other teachers, I think it made teachers understand, you know, these coaches aren't just dumb coaches that sit out at the field house all day. So I'm with Kyle, I'm with Chase, just to watch, you know, all this come together and see everything we're doing. You know, the only thing that our campus different than theirs, I will give a shout out to Miss Bryant. If I had to make another TikTok video, I didn't know what I was going to do, but you know, you do what you got to do for children. So I played along and did what I had to do. I saw Kyle in his little king outfit. He outdid us. You know, the high school video was really good. It was good to see everybody come together as one, and really as a whole district come together as one. And without Mr. Brewer's leadership in this, I don't think this could have possibly happened. So, you know, it's all to him, really. But, you know, I agree tremendously with everybody saying. You know, one thing that our campus is a little different than everybody else's is, as soon as we heard it, what does it mean for us being in IR? You know, we don't have that answer. But I can tell you, when we did take our benchmark, you know, we did really well in a lot of areas. There's a few areas, 6th grade math is still a little low, that we need to really, when we get back, if we get back, we really need to get after. But to see us, you know, 8th grade science that had 16% the previous year to almost 60% approaching grade level, I mean, that's tremendous. That is growth. That is the growth we're looking for. That is the growth that Mr. Brewer has preached. Mr. Brewer has preached to me from the day one, that I have preached to this staff. And to see that, man, and just see the smile on these teachers' faces when they were seeing those scores come in and knowing their hard work is paying off and the hours they're putting in, and I couldn't have been prouder. You know, I'm like Kyle. I've never been as proud as I am right now. And, you know, it's hashtag building Bulldogs, and that's what we're trying to do. But, you know, we're doing the same thing, Google Classroom, trying to get it out there as fast as we can and as good as we can. I know the 6th graders reported back. I was like them. I hopped on some today, but we had a tremendous amount of children on for 6th grade for sure. So I was glad to see that, because that was kind of the one I didn't know. You know, they're kind of younger. You never know what's going to happen, but they came, you know, they answered the call, and I'm real proud. The teachers were real proud. I got a lot of text messages today about our children getting on and doing what they're supposed to do. I had a lot of phone calls today. I had a lot of kids coming up here picking up stuff. So I think everybody's buying in, and that's just not the school district. That's the community, and that speaks to, you know, what this community is. So like I said, I'm proud to be here, and I couldn't be more proud of my staff and this whole district and all of y'all for helping us and, you know, having our back. So that's about all I got to say.
So I'm not going to repeat a lot of the stuff that they said, because they did a great job covering it. But the last 10 days in this district it's been pretty amazing. It's been tough. I mean, it's been challenging. You know, 10 days ago we started getting information that we were leaning towards this way, that we were going to have to do some things. And so 2 Saturdays ago we had a meeting in the administration building, and nobody blinked, or nobody squawked about having to meet on a Saturday morning. And Jennifer was there as well as a representative of the board, and we had an outstanding meeting. That meeting was it gives me chills right now, just to kind of that was the first meeting that we had, really, that kind of laid the foundation for everything that you're talking about here. And you know, principals and Nurse Ford and Stacy joined us by phone, and Mr. Burfeen's been a huge piece of this. And so we basically came up with a plan on when we have kids here, how can we make sure that we ask the right questions and have the right screening process, that when kids are here, we feel good about that and about them being here, and making sure that we're not exposing our staff or our kids. And we worked through that, worked through what that needed to look like, and talked about that. And then we started talking about online platform and what at-home learning is going to look like. And we kind of broke up after that, kind of had some goals and some things we needed to accomplish, and broke up after that. And we hit the ground running. And I want to say thank you to the entire staff. The staff has done an unbelievable job of putting together something really. We met that next Monday again as an administrative staff, and worked through some things and had some goals of what we wanted it to look like, and what we need to push out there. And we really wanted interaction with the kids. We thought that was really, really important. We're very blessed to have the technology we have in this district, and we wanted to use it. We just felt like that if we just rolled out packets, that kids might do that, but they're going to struggle with it. So we really wanted to talk about daily schedules, especially elementary. High school and secondary needs to be a little more flexible. Some of those students are about to start going to college, and so you can roll out a little bit different. Like Mr. Selke was talking about, high school, you can kind of approach it kind of a week at a time, whereas an elementary student is different. They need a daily schedule. They need that routine in their life. And so we started talking about that and kind of defined the things that we were looking at. And again, the principals did an outstanding job of communicating that, the things we decided as a team, and rolling out to the teachers. And then 48 hours later, they were ready to go. And we were very blessed to have that one day. I felt like that one day was really critical for some of our kids to understand how to put this together and what it's going to look like and how to access it. And that following day, things changed, as y'all know, pretty quickly through there. And that next day, Friday, we weren't able to meet as a district, but we were able to meet as a staff. And so some things going forward that we're looking at, obviously instructional continuity is a high priority for us, wanting to make sure that we cannot lose instruction in Stanford. That's just not an option. We need to continue with instruction. We can't afford to lose instruction. And really, I sent out an email, I think it was last Friday. I'm trying to remember what days all this stuff happened on, but the last Friday I sent out an email. Really, those classes that are STAR tested, they're actually going to gain 3 weeks of instruction because we're not giving STAR assessments. And as y'all know, when we start giving STAR assessment, it kind of locks things down. And so really, that's one thing that you can look at, is that we're going to gain a little instructional time back. So instructional continuity was huge for us. Wellness was a big issue for us, making sure that we had people checking on our kids. So our instructional aides are a huge piece of that. They've got kids assigned, and they're going to contact those kids and those parents weekly. You've heard that from all 3 campuses, and not just like, how's online instruction going, although that is a big piece, but how are you doing, and what are your needs that you have, and how are you feeling, and they can get a sense of how things are going, and then those instructional aides know who those contact points are for each of those areas, and they can contact, get those people connected. And food service was a huge, huge issue for us. We really wanted to get food service rolling. Jennifer Hines did a great job working through applications and waivers and trying to get it just right to where we could get food service rolling. We did have 157 kids that were fed today, 2 meals. And so that we were really, really excited about that. Did not think that we would have that much turnout today. We had 5 students that requested meals to be delivered. I think that number will grow. I think all those numbers will grow. When I was talking to the food service staff, they said that it typically doubled the first few days. I don't know that we'll see it double, but I certainly think, today was a cold meal just because we had to get a meal out and get it served. Tomorrow, we're looking at a different option. But 157 kids got fed today. And so I really appreciate the food service staff. Boy, they stepped up big time. Every time I had a question, they had an answer for it. And so I appreciated that. So we're working through some bugs on technology, which is not unexpected. But what I've seen as a parent is, I went home today for lunch, and my second grader was online chatting with his classmates at 12 o'clock today. Was online chatting with his classmates, and that was really important for him. He needs that interaction with his friends, and so my 2 older ones, they're already pretty used to doing that kind of thing, and so it was pretty seamless for them. But for our younger kids, I think it's just as important. So again, just a shout out to all of our staff. I mean, I can't think of it. Maintenance has done an unbelievable job. They've stepped up and all the cleaning they've done, and now they're starting until something different happens. If it happens, they're working on projects and things and getting things done so that we can get some stuff done in case something else does happen. So office staff, getting all the phone calls and knowing where to point those people. Mr. Burfing and Mr. Poteet have been a huge piece of this, and we couldn't have done it without them. So really just a shout out to all of our staff, and just amazing. You saw Mr. Chambers get a little bit choked up. I started getting a little bit choked up. Just think about the amount of work that our people put in place so that our kids can learn today is pretty amazing. It really is. So I couldn't be more pleased with our people and the amount of effort. You can tell that they love kids. This isn't about they were given a task or a duty or an assignment. This is about I want to get this in place so I can love on my kids. We've talked about that, making sure that we let them know that we love them. One of the big things we've been emphasizing is not saying canceling school. We are not canceling school. Okay, school is going to go forward. It just might be in a little bit different format for a while, but we are not canceling school. Okay, we are giving assignments. We are wanting to hold our kids accountable for those. We're wanting to check on our kids and make sure. I don't know what the grades are going to look like yet. We don't know that, but this isn't just throwing something out there and do it if you want to, and not. I mean, that's not what this is about. School is continuing. It's just in a different way, and we want them to know that we're still here for them during this time. So again, awesome job, everybody. I really appreciate all the work that everybody's put into it. So, back on food service, 157 is awesome. Probably about twice what I thought it was going to be. On that note, just realize though too that there will be an impact on a lot of these things with revenue, and we just know that, and we're just going to move forward and do what's best for our kids, and then we'll worry about that at some point. We're watching it, we're looking at it, we're aware, but food service, that certainly is going to, more kids eat at Oliver on a day than that number right there. So we know that, but we just got to do what we got to do for our kids and control it. Special ed self-monitoring, we were in cycle 1, group 3 on that, and that's been pushed to the fall. So I've communicated that to that committee. I mentioned already assessments, no STAR testing this spring. TAs really trying to determine the impact of that. It's been a topic of conversation with the commissioner on our daily 3 o'clock conference call. And there's going to be a lot of implications with that. That's when you cancel something like that, it's more than just canceling a test. Like Mr. Price said, that impacts IR, and our teachers were, I know that in a sense they were kind of bummed about that a little bit because they want to prove, and I think they would have proved, and I don't know how that's going to work, but they were the middle school, and I walked through that day that we were all here on Friday. I got several of them asked me that question about how does this impact IR? We're ready to show that we're out of this, and so I feel for them on that. I don't know yet how that's going to impact them. EOCs and our high school students, they're going to have to do kind of a rolling how that's going to impact those kids. There's a lot of moving pieces and parts on that. I think it was the right call. I'm not questioning it. I'm just saying that we're not sure exactly how all that's going to work out. Waivers, I've got 3 or 4 waivers sitting on my desk that we're going to have to apply for because we're not going to meet minutes just like every other school. We had a low attendance day. We're going to have a waiver for teacher evaluations probably if we don't get back in a timely manner. So several waivers that we're going to have to look at. Again, UIL academics and athletics has been postponed or stopped until May 4th. So we'll see. They keep on telling us that they're planning on completing those sports and activities when we return. Cybersecurity training on your end, we're going to move that to May. We already kind of talked about that. Summer professional development, we've already rolled that out today. I sent an email to our staff about we're bringing in Leap Forward in June and July this summer, and we've already rolled out back to school week for our staff so they can make plans on that. School finance, the commissioner has said, and I have this in quotes because he said it a couple times, we're not going to lose any money. I'm not as optimistic as the commissioner on that. Stacy's already digging into looking at what she can at this point. There's a lot of that we don't know yet, but she's already taken a look at the template and just looking at how this is going to impact that. Again, we're going to do what we have to do for kids. We'll worry about the rest of it later, but we do want to be aware because there are some things we can tweak. Like for instance, right now, the maintenance staff, we turned off the AC and heat in the classrooms, and they can do an override. But while they're not in there, just some little things we can do to be looking at the how we can save a little energy and revenue here and there, but our expenditures. So again, school finance, it's going to be, he says we're not going to lose any money, but I'd rather be aware of that. One of the last things I want to talk, I added a few more after I typed this up, but the economy, Glenn Hager reported to the legislature last night on Sunday night. Okay, so that kind of tells you a little bit about things. He reported to him last night that it's gonna, the economy of Texas is gonna take a hit. He referred to a recession. I don't know if we're technically in a recession yet, but certainly oil prices is kind of the foundation of our school funding, and so there's going to be an impact there. What that looks like, I don't know. They mentioned the rainy day fund and all those kind of things, but our school finance that we have benefited from here at Stamford ISD probably more than anybody around. That's all based on a strong economy, and so I just want to throw that out there again. Nothing to panic about. There's nothing we can do about it, but I just want y'all to be aware that the school finance package that was passed this last legislative session was certainly passed with a strong economy as the basis of that. So just be aware of that. Again, I'm not an economist, but just kind of I want you to be aware of that. The band, Mr. Copeland showed this to me today, so we brought it here. This is their sweepstakes award. Again, I think 2004, 2005 is the last time they've won a sweepstakes trophy, but they actually didn't get all ones at that point, but they did get sweepstakes. So this is a big deal for our band. They've worked really hard. We're actually replacing the carpet right now in the band hall during this little time right here. But they've done a really good job, and I'm really pleased with the work that they've done in the band program. So the last thing I have is actually Ms. Baker has got some information from the TASB delegate. Each of y'all have got a handout. I think it shows the TASB from each region. Ms. Baker, you want to talk about that for a second?
Yes, last month we had the TASB grassroots meeting in Region 14. And it was all the delegates that represent just Region 14. And we had 10 factors that we needed to look at, which is on your at the top of your very first page. And we had to decide what was the 6 most important ones that we saw for our district and our region. And if you look at Region 14, which is on the 4th page, fourth page. These are the 6 points that we chose. Now, if you think that there's something else as a school board member for our school district that you want to address a little differently, then if you give that to me, then I'll submit it in. Because that's what they're waiting on. They're waiting for us to send information back to them to see if there's any more tweaking that needs to be done. When it came to mental health, so I won't throw you off, we didn't put out just identify mental health as a bullet to itself. We let mental health be addressed under number 3 point, programs and service for children with special needs. Because usually with children with special needs, you have mental health. So that's what we're trying to address it at there. Okay? Any more questions?
Thank you. I did want to say just one thing. When all this started, we were on spring break and we were actually in Houston. And I was calling Will on his spring break going, can you believe this? And so I just want to say everybody has gone above and beyond, but I'm telling you, Will has answered the phone anytime I've called. Sometimes it's in a panic, going, oh my gosh, I just saw, or sometimes it's, hey, can you help me? I don't understand this or whatever. And so I just appreciate that. And the leadership you have shown has just been outstanding, and you have helped get us here. And so I just appreciate that very much. Our kids are definitely benefiting in our community.
Well, we've got a good team, so I
I
appreciate it.
totally agree.
And we've got a great leader.
We do. We do.
Your turn. All right.
All right. Consent agenda items. Do we have?
No, strike B.
Okay. We have 2 property bids.
Yeah, one in Jones County and one in high school. Any questions or concerns about Monday, April 13th for the board meeting? And what I would say is over the next week or so, if you need help on Zoom, you probably need to be prepared for that to possibly be a meeting. Just who knows what's going to happen. I just know counties around us are making some decisions and things. And so we can certainly help you through that on Zoom. We'll probably need to work out some more bugs on it. We'll keep test driving it and figuring it out. But we may not be able to meet in this fashion. Who knows? But so.
Just get our kids to show us.
Yeah.
They can help you out.
Yes, yeah, no problem.
Really accept the consent agenda as presented.
Got a motion by Curtis,
Second.
second by Nguyen. Questions, comments? Call for a vote.
Jennifer Cadell,
Yes.
Kelly Miller,
Yes.
Curtis Birdsong,
Yes.
Wayne Baker,
Yes.
Eric Strand is absent. What's your name? Oh, Carrie McClintock. Justin
What's her
Corson.
name?
Just kidding.
Motion passed.
Yes.
Thanks.
That's what you said.
Okay, next we have the certification of unopposed candidates. There are only 3 voting. So, guess I'll entertain a motion for that.
I move that we approve the certification of unopposed Stamford ISD Board of Trustees candidates for the May 2nd, 2020 election.
Got a motion by Curtis and a second by Justin. Any other discussion? Call for a vote.
Jennifer Cadell,
Yes.
Kelly Miller,
Yes.
Curtis Birdsong,
Yes.
Wayne Baker,
Yes.
Eric Strand is absent. Carrie McClintock,
Yes.
Justin Corson.
Yes.
And now we have the order of the cancellation of election since.
And again, briefly on this one, the governor has given political subdivisions only the option to move the election to November, but since we only had 3 positions open and 3, I don't think there's any need, in my opinion, to move the election to November.
I agree. So do I hear a motion?
Okay. I move to approve the order of cancellation of the Stamford ISD Board of Trustees election scheduled for May 2nd, 2020.
Got a motion by Kelly. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Curtis. Any further discussion? Call for a vote.
Jennifer Cadell.
Yes.
Kelly Miller.
Yes.
Curtis Birdsong,
Yes.
Wayne Baker,
Yes.
Eric Strand is absent. Carrie McClintock.
Yes.
Justin Corson.
Yes.
And that motion passes. Next, we have purchase a school bus for the 2020-2021 school year.
So in order to get a bus around early September, especially one that we're going to order, which is a little different, we need to order it very soon, and so that's why it's on this month's agenda for next budget year. And I kind of went back and forth on this, and y'all know that, but I really feel like we need a bus for out of town events. We sometimes struggle with that on a bus that for out of town events, but so again, to kind of describe this bus, it is eligible for route bus, so it can be used for a route whenever at some point, if we want to transition it to a route bus, or if we just need a route bus, we can use it for that. But we'll have the activity seats, the activity type seats, so the seats that have a little more leg room for longer trips. It's got the 3-point harness on the seat belt with the activity seats. It's got the storage underneath, and I think it seats 40, but at some point, if we ever wanted to move it to a seating 3 instead of 2 activity seats, a regular 3-person seat, we could do that as well, but we wouldn't necessarily have to. We've looked at routes, and really that's about where our routes are, a little less actually than that, 40 per bus. So I feel really good about it. I know it's a commitment for next year, but we're at that point where I feel like we do need a bus. So.
I move to approve the board authorize purchase school bus for the 2021 school year in the amount not to exceed $115,000.
Got a motion by Carrie.
Second.
Got a second by Gwen. Any further discussion?
Do we have to have the 21,000-pound rear?
I assume so. I'm not touching that.
I got this call for a vote.
Jennifer Goodell.
Yes.
Curtis Brooks.
Yes.
Gwen Baker.
Yes.
Eric Strand is absent. Karen McClintock.
Yes.
Justin Corzine.
Yes. He's a little 60-pound kid that when they hit the bump was launched into the. They had 21,000 pound
Okay. Next on the agenda. No, it's
Didn't
fine.
even paint that picture for you guys.
Hey, I appreciate it.
It's forever emblazoned in my brain now.
We have the resolution of the board regarding wage payments during emergency school
Is there, do we just need to make a motion to approve the resolution?
So
okay.
I'll say a couple things about it real quick, and then Stacy can add whatever. So this is in case there is a closure and we have to tell people to stay home. We're not at that point yet. So actually, this is not in effect just yet. And who knows? We may not ever use it, but we want to have it in place in case we need it. I would recommend that 2 of y'all abstain from this just in case. I mean, it doesn't really apply to contractual. It says contractual, but for teachers, they have a contract anyways. But this is just kind of as a fail-safe, I say, just in case we did get to that point and we needed to and tell people to stay away. That it is a financial commitment, but I feel like we've made a commitment to them, and they've made a commitment to us as employees, and I think we need to follow through with that commitment. So, anything on that?
And the rationale on staying is.
Well, your wife, you have a wife that's a teacher, and you have a wife that's a teacher, and although the reason why I say that, because it does say contractual in there, even though really I'm not sure it would.
I mean, really, the legal standing on it is the contractual, the contract people, this doesn't really apply to, but the resolution includes them as well. So it's probably just.
This is
Okay. Oh, okay. I move that we approve the resolution regarding wage payments during emergency school closing.
Got a motion by Callie and a second by Carrie.
Thank
That's
you.
a mouthful.
Yes.
Any further discussion? Call for a vote.
Jennifer Goodell.
Yes.
Callie Mittler.
Yes.
Curtis Birdsong.
Abstain.
Gwen Baker.
Yes.
Eric Strand is absent. Carrie McClintock.
Yes.
Justin Corzine.
abstain.
Motion passes.
That may be overkill, but
Can the minutes be shown that the reason for abstaining is due to the conflict? I don't want.
I get
I
you.
get
No,
you.
I
I
understand.
think that we're abstaining.
Well, they'll protect you. Why on earth was they done that way?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put it in there.
Thank you.
I think now
all right. That's it for.
going to executive session. It is 7:56. We are out of executive session. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
So, motion by Curtis, second by Carrie. Carrie can always good night. Call for a vote. Jennifer Goodell, yes. Callie Medley,
Yes.
Chris Burke.
Yes.
Smith, I'm sorry, I didn't say Smith.
I respond to you, so it's fine with me.
Gwen. Harry Street is absent. Carrie McClintock. Justin Corzine.
Yes.
It is 7:57 and we are adjourned.
Curtis Smith.
Sorry. After I said that, I thought, that doesn't sound right.